Alright, picture this. It's 1976. Bell-bottoms are flapping, record players are spinning, and rock is having a full-blown identity crisis, in the best way possible. Some bands are doubling down on the blues, others are flying off into spacey synth solos, and a few, they're just here to blow your speakers out. So today, we're diving into 12 tracks that didn't just soundtrack 1976, they rewrote what rock could be. Whether it was a barroom brawler of a riff or a spacey anthem that felt like a dream sequence, these songs made their mark. And trust me, number 3, that one made me want to start a band. Or at least buy a guitar I never learned to play. So, crank the volume and let's rewind to a wild, loud, unforgettable year. Number 12, Boston, Smokin. Tom Scholz basically built Boston in his basement, literally. With homemade gear and a perfectionist's touch, he created songs that sounded like they were made for stadiums. Smokin is one of those tracks, raw, loud, and full of attitude. Tucked deeper into their debut album, it wasn't the big radio single, but for real fans, this was the track. That organ solo? Unhinged. The guitar licks, sharp enough to shave with. It's a dirty, grooving, good time jam that somehow makes you feel cooler just for listening to it. I remember hearing this one blast from a friend's garage while we tried to fix a bike chain. Neither of us could fix the bike, but we did play Smokin 5 times in a row. It turned garages into jam dens and high school basements into arenas. And yeah, I tried to air guitar that solo once. Bad idea. Great memory. Boston rehearsed this track relentlessly, and it shows. Every note is tight, punchy, and built to move a crowd. It's not just a deep cut, it's a fan favorite that still feels like the start of a very loud party. Number 11, Steve Miller Band, Fly Like an Eagle. I wanna fly like an eagle. You know that opening synth swell? Feels like you're being teleported straight into a dream, where everything's mellow, cosmic, and just a little bit funky. Living in the street, what about the babies, yeah? Steve Miller wasn't just making a song here. Time keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping. He was crafting an atmosphere. Fly Like an Eagle blended blues, rock, and soul into this smooth, hypnotic groove that felt like it floated in from another dimension. Released in late '76, it became one of Miller's defining tracks. The socially conscious lyrics, feed the babies who don't have enough to eat, were subtle but powerful, wrapped in that laid-back delivery that only Steve could pull off. He wasn't yelling at you to care, he was gliding it into your ears like a message on the wind. This was the track you threw on during a hazy drive or late at night when everything felt a little weird and wonderful. It wasn't just a hit, it was a whole vibe. And that guitar outro, still smoother than your uncle's best pickup line at a 4th of July barbecue. Where did you hear this song for the first time? Smokin lit the fire. Fly Like an Eagle gave you the wings. Imagine we're only just getting started. Number 10, Heart, Crazy on You. Anne and Nancy Wilson didn't just kick down the door, they lit it on fire. Crazy on You starts with that stunning acoustic intro, then morphs into a hard rock powerhouse. Heart made it clear that they weren't here to play nice. This was passion, precision, and power in one perfect package. And the way Anne belts the chorus, still unmatched. If you saw them live in '76, congratulations, your ears are still recovering. Number 9, Kiss, Detroit Rock City. You could almost hear the engine rev before the first riff even hits. Detroit Rock City doesn't just open, it arrives. It's Kiss in full cinematic mode. Roaring guitars, pulsing rhythm, Paul Stanley painting a story about a fan who never makes it to the show. That's right, under all the glam and pyro, there's a surprisingly tragic tale here. Released as the opener to Destroyer, it didn't chart high at first, but like a lot of great rock songs, it grew into a monster. The band opened countless shows with it, and for good reason. That riff? Instantly recognizable. That groove? Pure horsepower. It's the sound of leather jackets, black nail polish, and your mom warning you not to hang out with those kids. And let's not forget the car crash sound at the end. Straight from Gene Simmons' idea bin, adding drama like only Kiss could. If rock and roll all night is the party, Detroit Rock City is the midnight joyride that ends in flames. Most of these were pretty heavy rockers, but we've got one slower one coming up. Which song pops into your head first? Number 8, Kansas, Carry On Wayward Son. There are intros, and then there's this intro. Those a cappella harmonies hit like a choir of rock angels, and seconds later, bam, guitars, keys, drums, all flying in perfect formation. Carry On Wayward Son wasn't just Kansas's breakout, it was their battle cry. You heard it once, and suddenly your life had an epic soundtrack. The track came off their 1976 album, Left Overture, and it wasn't even planned as a single at first. But once DJs caught wind of it, it spread like wildfire. The song blends progressive complexity with arena-sized emotion, equal parts philosophy and fist pump. And that chorus, it's basically tattooed onto classic rock itself. Fun fact, guitarist Kerry Livgren wrote it as a reflection on his spiritual journey. But whether you were questioning life, headed off to college, or just trying to finish your shift at the gas station, this song felt like it was speaking to you. And if you've ever air guitared the solo in your bedroom, congratulations, you've completed a rite of passage. Don't you cry no more. But I'm guessing how you managed the tempo switch at 28 seconds. What a song. Don't you cry no more. So, what's your Wayward Son moment? Was it heartbreak, hope, or just an epic road trip with the volume all the way up? Number 7, Rod Stewart, Tonight's the Night. So,
Don't deny your man's desire.
remember earlier when we said we had one slower track on the list? Well, this is the one. And oh boy, it's a steamy one. Rod Stewart, Tonight's the Night is sultry, cheeky, and just a little scandalous. This wasn't just a slow jam.
And let me come inside, 'cause tonight's the night.
It was the slow jam. The kind that made parents raise eyebrows, teenagers blush, and FM radios across the country light up.
Don't say a word, my virgin child.
Rod didn't sing this one, he purred it. Smooth vocals, gentle groove, and lyrics that were just suggestive enough to get people talking, and some stations side-eyeing the airplay.
Stay away from my window.
But controversy or not, it worked. The song spent 8 weeks at number 1 and became an instant prom night classic.
Let me pour you a good long drink.
And let's be honest, if you were around in '76, this might have been the background music to your first kiss, or something a bit more memorable.
Be alright, 'cause I love you, girl.
And if you were a kid hearing it at your parents' party, yep, cue that awkward moment.
Don't say a word, a virgin child. Just
Either way,
let your
it's impossible to forget. Tonight's the Night is proof that sometimes turning down the volume just a little can still turn up the heat. Number 6, Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band, Katmandu. Bob Seger never needed glitter or eyeliner, he brought grit to the party. And with Katmandu, he basically rolled down the windows of a 70s muscle car and floored it across the American highway. This track wasn't just a song, it was a release. A road trip anthem for anyone who felt stuck, fed up, or ready to blow out of town. With a newly formed Silver Bullet Band backing him, Seger tore through this one like he had a point to prove. And man, he proved it. Katmandu had the mix of blues, rock rawness, and unpolished truth that made you stomp your foot without realizing it. Live, it was chaos in the best way. Seger shouting into the mic while the crowd shouted right back, fists in the air. And let's be honest, did you even grow up in the 70s if you didn't at least once shout, "I think I'm going to Katmandu," without knowing where it actually was? This was Seger at his rowdiest, and it still hits like a late night drive with nowhere to be and everything to feel. Number 5, Thin Lizzy, Jailbreak. If you've ever wanted a rock song to feel like a full-blown action movie, Jailbreak is it. From the opening riff, you're not just listening, you're in the getaway car. Thin Lizzy always had that storytelling magic, and with Phil Lynott at the mic, you believed every word. He didn't just sing about breaking out, he made you want to grab a leather jacket and join the escape. His voice had that cool confidence, like he knew something that you didn't. Combine that with twin guitar leads from Scott Gorham and Brian Robertson, and you've got a sonic jailbreak happening right in your headphones.
I think it's best we'll move away. Do you hear what I say?
The song came off their album Jailbreak, their big international breakthrough, and this track led the charge. It was cinematic rock before MTV turned every band into filmmakers. No video needed here. You could see it all in your head. And let's be real, that chorus, Tonight there's gonna be a jailbreak. It didn't just play, it exploded out of your speakers. Number 4, Backman Turner Overdrive. Take It Like a Man. By 1976, Backman Turner Overdrive had already laid down a blueprint for no-nonsense, working-class rock, and Take It Like a Man was another gritty gem in their collection. This wasn't a track built for glam or glitter. It was built for bars, back roads, and turntables that had been spun one too many times. Randy Bachman's chunky guitar tone kicks the door in, and Fred Turner's raw vocals? They don't ask for attention, they demand it. And here's a fun twist. Guess who's on piano? None other than Little Richard himself. Yep, the rock and roll pioneer came out of nowhere and torched those keys like it was still 1957. That surprise guest appearance gave the song a wild edge, a shot of fire in an already smoking track. Take It Like a Man didn't crack the top 10, but it became one of those deep-cut anthems that real rock fans always bring up. It's got punch, swagger, and just the right amount of grit. So, the question is, when that piano solo kicks in, did you expect it, or did it hit you like a freight train? Number 3, Peter Frampton. Do You Feel Like We Do? This wasn't just a song, this was a moment. And for a lot of fans in '76, this was the moment that made them fall headfirst into live rock. Do You Feel Like We Do on Frampton Comes Alive wasn't a track, it was a journey. 12 minutes long, packed with peaks, valleys, talkbox wizardry, and a crowd that felt like the fourth band member. When that iconic guitar solo talks to you? Yeah, that wasn't a gimmick. That was Frampton bending sound to his will. What makes this song special isn't just the performance, it's how personal it feels. Even though it's massive and loud and arena-sized, it sounds like Peter's jamming right in your living room. That's probably why it became the crown jewel of one of the best-selling live albums of all time. Let's not forget, this wasn't even a new song. The studio version came out 2 years earlier and barely made a ripple. But live, it erupted. What song do you think clinched the top spot? Here's a hint. It's from a band we've already featured in this video. Drop your guess in the comments, and while you're at it, tell us what you think deserves a place on the 1981 rock list. We're taking a little break before that one drops, but your picks? They'll help shape it. So, hit us with your best. Either way, get ready. We're about to crank the energy again with a little Aussie fire. ACDC, It's a Long Way to the Top. Number 2, ACDC. It's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll. Bagpipes, freaking bagpipes. Only ACDC, specifically Bon Scott, could take an instrument usually reserved for parades and make it sound like the opening call to battle. This wasn't just a song, it was a manifesto for every band grinding it out in basements, bars, and backyards.
No stop signs, speed limit.
Released on their 1975 album TNT, and later on the international High Voltage, It's a Long Way to the Top was ACDC's musical resume. The lyrics didn't sugarcoat the journey. Hotel rooms, shady promoters, fights, and a whole lot of beer. Still, they made it sound like the greatest ride in the world. Angus Young ripped through the riff like his guitar owed him money, while Bon Scott delivered every line with that signature smirk in his voice. Half warning, half dare. But the bagpipes, that was the wild card. It shouldn't have worked, but somehow it did, and it became iconic. If you were in a band in the late 70s, this was your theme song. If you were a fan, this was your initiation. And if you cranked it loud enough, you swore you could hear Bon Scott grinning through the speakers. Number 1, Thin Lizzy, The Boys Are Back in Town. It's not just a song, it's an arrival, a guitar-driven declaration that the party's about to get loud. With The Boys Are Back in Town, Thin Lizzy didn't just score a hit, they staked their claim in rock history. That twin guitar attack from Scott Gorham and Brian Robertson, lightning in a bottle. It gave the song that bite, that bounce, that edge you still feel decades later. And Phil Lynott, man, that guy didn't sing, he narrated. Every line drips with cool, like he just walked out of a late-night bar with a story too wild to print.
Guess who just got back today? Them wild-eyed boys that
The song came off their Jailbreak album in 1976, and while the band had been grinding for years, this was the moment everything clicked. Radio, jukeboxes, and car stereos across the world. It hit radio, jukeboxes, and car stereos across the world. And suddenly, everyone was trying to be as cool as the boys in Thin Lizzy. It wasn't just a song about friends coming home. It was an anthem for making a scene, owning the night, and reminding everyone exactly who you were. And let's be honest, every time you hear it now, don't you feel like you're one of the boys back in town? 12 tracks, one unforgettable year. 1976 didn't play it safe, and neither did these songs. They brought the thunder, the weirdness, and the heart. Whether you were spinning these on vinyl or discovering them decades later, they hit hard and stuck around. So, what did we miss? What's your ultimate 1976 anthem? Drop it in the comments, hit that like button, and subscribe for more deep dives into the best years in rock history. And hey, crank that volume. Rock's not meant to be polite.